We're on the pound New Zealand and we have an alternate flag pattern that is set up. So I'm going to talk through the higher time frame and then the rules that I have for this pattern. Now, those of you that have never seen this before, I call it an alternate flag because it's something I came across a long time ago when I did my one of the many times that I went and did my back testing, and it's a breakout pattern, or at least I treat it the same as a breakout pattern, but it doesn't have the 4 touches that most breakout patterns have. So here on the daily, if we had to move higher, we're seeing a pullback, and if I put a structure level on as to where price closed yesterday, you can just zoom out a little bit. We've got a few levels of structure there, here. If I actually bring this down, price did actually spike down to those levels. So we've come to the area that I would have expected price to come to. Here on the 240, we had this, so we had a move lower, a pullback, a move lower, a pullback, a move lower, a pullback, and a move lower. You can look for a pullback here for a retest of the lows if you feel that may occur, though the move has actually already been made. We've come down and retested that zone already. Let's go to the 60, and the alternate flag, well actually I'll just draw this out on the 60. Lovely move, move lower here, ignore that. This is the move here, pullback and a move lower. So technically anywhere in this outside return you can look for shorting opportunities for a retest of the candle closes. Okay, now the alternate flag is defined as a sore thumb move, so we're looking for a swing like this. We're looking for a directional pole. The better the pole, the higher the probability for me that this trade will go on to win. And then typically you're looking at all the candles being the same colour, and that's exactly what is happening here. And what we do is we draw a trend line out on the closes of the candles. Around about 90% of the candles are going to be the same colour. In this one, pretty much all of them are. We're going to duplicate it, move it over, and you can see we're adhering to a channel. However, there is not 2 touches on either side. That's the big difference. Now we have already come into structure just here, so I'm going to go ahead here and highlight those wicks. Wicks are where we look for double tops and double bottoms, so I'm going to do that in a moment as we drop to the 15. However, what we have just seen here is a rejection candle, an inverted hammer, and you can see we've got a long wick to the upside and 0 wick to the downside. So price tried to push up and was instantly, or was rejected over the course of the hourly candle, and we closed in the lower 15% of the body, something like that. Now if I drop to the 15, with all breakout patterns and channels, I always say look out for the retest or the double top before the breakout. And within our wicks we have retest or a double top, because we're within the wicks on the higher time frame, and we do have the RSI confirmation. We have gone overbought at 84 and we have a lot of divergence. So these setups for me are very, very high probability. When we have this setup, we're looking at a win rate of up to 80%. Now these flags or these alternate flags, I cannot play for an extension, and all I play for is a retest of structure lows. Now if we bring back on the orders, look at the reward to risk we've got here. This typically happens when we've got the market moving quite heavily, and obviously we've done that very directionally here, very directionally there, looking for a move back down. Now I am front running this by quite a few pips because we have the 9500 psychological number, and if we go to the 240, we are actually on the closes of the candles, above the closes of the candles by around 5 pips. So we'll go back to the 15. Let's work out the reward to risk. Very high probability these trades, don't get them very often. Stops have gone 10 pips above the high. This is a double top or a retest, so we don't need anything more. So we're looking at 21,471. Usually end up with a nice reward to risk on these trades, but don't happen that often. But this is a beauty. We're back for an update, and I did say these alternate flag patterns are very, very profitable. You can see that we are now running down to those potential targets. 58 pips up, seeing a very directional move here. What I do just want to talk through, and I can't remember if I did this on the video, I know I was talking to people in the tier 1 chat, was that we had this, we had move 1, a pullback 2, 3 putting us in trend. There is clear room to the downside. We saw a pullback. Where did we come up to? The tops of our outside return. Here is a lower low, lower close candle. So if you actually use this, you would have gone an ATR above the high, which was 1570. So put you at 85. I would not have had my stop that far back, to be honest. I would have had 10 pips. So you would have had a risk like that. And if we can get down to those targets down here, make that green. It's just to show really that even if you miss your optimum entry, a lot of the time with breakout patterns we do enter trend, and so this would have meant a risk here of 32 and probably 50ish. There you go, 48. Still, even if you missed the entry, still gave you an opportunity to get involved. 55 up. I'm actually now just going to reduce the risk, because see what we've done here, we've actually had a retest up here, so I'm quite happy to reduce the risk here to just 10 pips above this high, 72, so that's going to make me 82. So this risk has been reduced to just 10 pips now. And once again pushing down here. Let's give this, I'll pause it, but I'll come back if we do get a little bit lower. Just a little update as well. I forgot to mention that I did actually add to this position. It gave me the opportunity to do that, so I added to this position. So this figure you see here is 61. Technically it will be 71 pips when it hits. It's only because I've added to the position. So a few more pips to go, 3 pips from targets. This is the pound New Zealand, so we will have to spike through it, and if we do that, I do want to make sure that these take, sometimes the fees can vary from 2 to 5 or 6 pips, and I don't want to miss out on the trade, because I'm only front running here by 2 pips from that psychological number. So don't know if you heard any of that. I didn't have the mic in the right position. What I was just saying here is that the pound New Zealand has a high spread, anywhere between 2 and 6 pips really, and I'm only front running by 2 pips in front of that psychological number, even though I think we can go another 10 pips lower here. But if we do spike through it and it doesn't take, I will be manually doing it. And I did add to this position as well, so even though we're only at 62, the profit will actually be 71 based on the original position size. So we're back, traders, we're back. I'm very pleased. I'm very excited, first of all, that the weekend is over, because I am well due a longer rest. And I'm very excited because the last trade of the week has just hit 471 pips. Let's just do a quick recap, because these alternate flags do not happen very often. We got, first of all, we validated the pattern, came into structure, we highlighted the wicks, we dropped to the 15, we looked for the retest, and here is the retest right here. Here was the retest. However, look what we actually did. We went a little higher. This is the beauty of having your stop loss and ATR off further back. We came down, pull back, we entered trend, pull back, we came down, pull back, and we went down to hit those targets. Just take a look at the 240. Beautiful, beautiful trade. And you know, I don't know anybody else that works these. But then again, you know, it's I call it an alternate flag because it's something I found. So there we go, 71 pips. Dare I say it, what does that give me? I was on 360 for the week, did take a 40 pip lose, that's 320, just taking a 71 pip winner, so 390 pips for the week. Record week, never had a 390 pip week ever. I've had several big winning trades and I've come close, but I've never had so many winners either. 390 pips. I'm going to take a well-earned rest over the weekend. You guys have a lovely weekend as well.